reasons for the economic success in the market are numerous, but in the Ancona province, what has given an important impulse to the saying industrial atmosphere, conceived by Alfred Marshall over a century ago, are the industrial areas made available by the Zipa consortium. These sites, industrial, artisan and offices, offer an ideal launching pad for business activities for companies in or ones that become part of the province.
I dati e i risultati raggiunti dal Consorzio Zipa sono sotto gli occhi di tutti.
The facts and figures of the Consorzio Zipa are visible to all. Since 1950, Zipa has accompanied the transformation of our territory from an agricultural to a primarily industrial territory, and all of this at a faster pace than the national average.
E questo l'ha fatto con una velocità al di sopra della media nazionale.
But what is the Zipa Consortium? Zipa Consortium for Entrepreneurial Development Areas in the Ancona province is a public institutional economic organization formed with the purpose of completing civic planning to stimulate the economic growth in the territory through an organization of infrastructure necessary for the creation and expansion of productive activities and services. The history of the consortium started after the Second World War to kick-start the commercial and industrial motor for the city of Ancona with the construction of an industrial estate. The most obvious starting point at the time was the Ancona port, which was recovering from the war and was considered as the hub for the economic growth of the area. It was an innovative decision if you think that in the area manufacturing activities were very limited with a preference for agriculture. So the first consortium venture was immense, reclaiming 82 hectares from the sea, following an idea thought of 400 years before by Giacomo Fontana, the architect for the Papal State, in his The Restoration of the Ancona port, foremost in the Adriatic, following a trend of the time of industrialization on the sea. At the beginning of the 70s in Iesi, a new entrepreneurial initiative was started in an area with hardly any industry, originating a twofold policy to be adopted to support and regulate by creating areas designed to attract both new companies and also to attract the companies that were already located close or in the urban circle, encouraging the possibility to expand and continue in the same way. The site was located in the ex-military area of Iesi Airport, and the Zipa Consortium, which following a modification of the ruling could proceed at a provincial level, were given the assignment of completion. The work started in 1968, and in a newspaper of the early 70s you can read, the objective of the Zipa was to create an area which would see a build-up of an important development with an eye to occupation, investment, technology and productive efficiency. A development that could be defined as a pilot scheme that operates and shows the way. In the same way, the consortium ensued the development of industrial areas in Corinaldo, 1970, and Ostra, 1988, that make up important incentives for economic expansion in the Misa and Cesano valleys. Also, two new initiatives have been started at Camerano and Castelfidardo. The companies making use of the Zipa areas have grown from the 30 in the Ancona port in the 60s to 120 in the following 10 years in the additional areas to several hundreds of today. The progress is reflected in the number of employees involved, which has almost doubled from about 3,000 in 1980. The report between the number of companies and the surface area consigned is about 1 to 1. This implies that on average each company has required a hectare of ground, and this is a realistic semblance of the dimension of the small to medium companies in the market.
Nel 65 ero sindaco a Iesi.
I was mayor of Iesi in 1965, and I noted the negative imprint of the industrialization situation. At the time, Iesi did not benefit from the Cassa del Mezzogiorno, and so it was thought to create a form of incentive to permit a large-scale industrialization process to take place. I was president of Zipa for 18 years. We started the activities here in Iesi by purchasing the area from the Demanio in 1969, paying 250 liras. The costs for urbanization were 700 liras. We sold the plots for 1,000 liras. This meant that the neighbors who acted as privates sold their unurbanized plots at 5,000. Even taking the costs of urbanization into consideration, we were at 1 to 20, 1,000 to 20,000. This is the success of the Zipa. It will always be strong, as it has always operated well.
La Zipa andrà sempre forte, perché ha sempre operato bene.
The consortium are convinced that the way to reply to the entrepreneurial request is to offer the market an industrial area which has good services with ease of access, leaving the companies to concentrate on their internal policies with the requirement that the organization assist them with this difficult task. In this way, the consortium has completed enormous investment programs on short and medium terms to make the best infrastructure possible in the development areas and to create the ideal surrounding conditions to encourage growth in these areas of competitive companies at an international level, which also complies to environmental requirements. The work of redestination completed in the Zipa consortium areas has always been completed with consideration for the surroundings from an environmental, urbanistic and social point of view, and the results can be seen. In fact, many companies, institutions and industrial groups of national and international repute have backed and shown their belief in these Zipa areas to thrive and become authentic models in the areas.
Le dimensioni dell'area di Iesi.
The Iesi territory, with more than 1,900,000 square meters in surface area, more than 150 companies of varied productions and a stable workforce of over 3,000, has sparked the need to create a directional center that would act as a support to the entrepreneurial initiatives and at the same time serve as headquarters to the area as an alternative business center.
A project award has endorsed the promotion of the highest quality, giving the designers complete creative liberty, while at the same time respecting the regulations and economical limitations. The finished results are there to be seen. The Zipa Consortium is certified as a formative institutional organization, which makes it one of the few centers which can benefit from public finances, and internally there is a docens center of notable importance, which is used as an instrument which offers services for training and vocational advancement courses for the employees of all the companies present in the Iesi Council area and those in the surrounding Vallasina area. The centre is also used for informative courses at school and post-school levels by schools, institutional organizations and foundations.
Foresight has been the main characteristic of the Consorzio since 1948 until today, and it is by far the engine that propels it towards greater development.
Verso un ulteriore sviluppo.